What is going on, guys? Back with another video. So in today's video, guys, I'm going to be giving an update on Dowge and Momo, two of the strongest community-based coins and ones which I've been watching. And I'm a big fan of both, to be honest. And obviously, we've seen huge sell-offs. We saw Dowge drop under under 10 million, and we've seen Momo also struggle as well, right? And recently, over the past few days, we've seen quite a good comeback with both projects, specifically Momo, which this went to around $2.5 million in market cap, and it just had a massive god candle, right? Because we did see some pretty big whales accumulating, and they still are. So you can tell a lot more interest is coming into these projects. I mean, when Momo was at 2.5 million, I just saw a crazy opportunity, right? Because the narrative was there, and the chart looked bottomed out, and I just saw a real opportunity. And when you look at Dowge as well, obviously this is up around 60%, which is great to see. At one point it was up around 80 to 90% over the past few days. So it's good to see a little bit of a recovery with both these projects. These are two meme coins which really do have a strong narrative. Obviously, when it comes to Dowge, you have that whole TradeFi narrative and that whole manifesto, that whole goal. No matter how unreasonable the goal is or unrealistic it is, the community is still going to have, when retail come in, they're still going to have that belief that this has the potential to potentially flip the Dow Jones, right? With the character, with the whole three-headed logo, with the whole manifesto, this, it just has that use case, right? And how this sort of community flooded into the scene was insane, right? So it's coming to now over 3 months old. Holders are just over 16,000 holders, and obviously what needs to happen with Dowge, guys, is I think we need more listings, right? That is the main thing which is required at this stage, because I think for the market cap this is currently sat at, it does need more centralized exchange listings, right? That's just going to boost up the volume, and it's just going to make it easier for a lot of retail to get into the project, because at this current stage still, guys, a lot of people aren't familiar on how to use a decentralized exchange, right? If you're new to crypto and you're not aware of how to set up your own wallet and trade on something like Radium, then you are going to have to really do a bit of research, right? So being available on a centralized exchange just opens up a lot more doors, in my opinion. But apart from that, in terms of the whole use case, guys, I've covered this many times on the channel. The whole thing of putting the power back into the people's hands, away from the insiders, and also just this whole chart here of the flippening of the Dow Jones, right? And again, you can see here they've got this chart of how far they've come in terms of flipping the Dow Jones, right? So obviously, guys, if this isn't going to happen, but just the fact, just of people seeing here the upside of this, if it does flip that of over 1.3 million X, is going to get people excited, right? They're going to look at this and they're going to have that belief, and ultimately it could be the thing that makes them want to hold for the long term. In terms of the X, guys, in terms of the post, obviously they've been consistent with the post. You've obviously seen Superman, who has been posting about this a bit more consistently, and as I've said, guys, I do think listings are what is needed at this stage. More listings would really help with the project. Obviously, the whole narrative is there. The narrative is really strong. It just needs to have a bigger push in terms of listings, right? When we come over to Momo, guys, this is one that has been absolutely exploding. This is up around 120%. At one stage, up 150% over the past few days, guys, right? Just 2 days ago, this was at, $2.5 million in market cap, and it is currently at 6 million, right? But it's still down massively from the all-time highs. You're looking at still down around, 75, 80%, I think, from the all-time highs. And likewise, you've also had some pretty big whales who have been accumulating over the past few days, who obviously see a vision, right? And again, I also see that vision, which is why I did actually buy at those levels. Because when you consider the narrative, when you consider that dog coins are the hottest coins, hottest meme coins within this meme coin sector, when you consider it's the first female Shiba, the people's dog coin, and Bonk sister, it really just attracts a lot of different communities, right? You've got the Shiba Inu community who aren't as active right now because obviously it is an old coin. So people who hold that, this is something that could potentially attract to them, especially female. Females are going to be attracted to something which they can relate to, right? A female dog. And then also Bonk sister. But then also, guys, what I really like about this is the website. You can see here the pink pill aspect of it. The artwork is just really good. Momo is Bonks' cheeky little sister, pastel pink energy, ready to pounce, born on Solana. And then also, obviously, what they have in relation to merch, which I think is also a good touch. And again, this is something that people, are buying. This is something that people are going to, have. And it's just something that can really help push the whole, cult-like community for Momo. So really good touch for that as well. They've other good thing about Momo, which I really do like, is the fact that they are also available on MEXC, right? And MEXC, of course, is a very good exchange for these micro caps, for these low caps, and a lot of people have accounts on MEXC. And you can tell as well when it comes to the volume is actually better than Dowge, which is pretty interesting because Dowge is around 3 times bigger than Momo. But apart from that, guys, I'm still bullish on Momo. What I do like as well is the fact that they've sort of released this sort of little cartoon comic book series, which is a good touch. It just adds that sort of exciting aspect to the project. And apart from that, the project I think has good potential in the long term. So I was buying it when I saw this level here. I thought at 2 million market cap, guys, it is worth the risk. And if it comes back down, I probably will DCA some more along the way. Community is still very strong, and I do think this is one which is going to get a lot more attention as we continue to go through this bull market, because we are starting to warm up, guys. We're seeing Ethereum pump, we're seeing Solana pump, and I do think some of these meme coins are going to perform extremely well, guys. So just a quick update on Dowge and Momo, guys. Obviously, make sure to do your own research, but in terms of Momo, guys, the content is really good, and this is one which I am having a little bit more of a good feeling about. I do really like Dowge as well, and I do hold a small amount. But with Momo at the current market cap, or when it was at 2.5 million, I just saw a massive opportunity for some good upside, right? Content is really clean as well with Momo, guys. The artists behind this are really good. There's big YouTubers, and I think there's going to be more and more people who are going to cover this, right? Obviously, when it's down, people aren't interested, but when they see it start to wake up, that is when more and more people are going to come in, guys. So just a quick update on Dowge and Momo, guys. It's good to see a little bit of green, but ultimately there's still a long way to go in terms of getting back to all-time highs. But I do think that is definitely on the card. So hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon for the next video.